Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? The mic seems a little weird. I'm gonna have to take a look at it, maybe, but hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. What's up, guys? Good morning. Hope everybody is doing well. Monday's over, right? That's good stuff. Can't really be too upset, right? We got through Monday, man. I mean, it's not the weekend, but it's better than Monday, dude. So, I don't know. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We're gonna do the news. Like always, we'll do the news. And then we're gonna play some more Evil Dead. I think we're gonna play Evil Dead with our buddy Busy King. Yeah. So that should be a fun time. Amazing individual, streamer, and top 50 standalone Gwent player as well. Really cool individual, and we should have a good day today, man. Just real chill, just trying to play around with some Evil Dead. It's free on Epic, and I'll show everybody that once we get into the news segment. Okay, you guys rock. Good to see you. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's do what we do. Let's get into this video gaming news segment. Okay. Before we do that, check it out. We're listening to Subnautica this morning. That's what we're checking out, all right? Subnautica vibes, yeah. So that's kind of what we've been diving into a little bit, the Subnautica tunes. And what I can say is that the soundtrack is large. It is good. I enjoy it. And I can't really speak on experience of the game, but it is supposed to be very, very good as well. I am going to play it sometime very soon, along with its DLC, Below Zero, right? That is the DLC. And it should be a good time. Base building, very atmospheric, underwater, exploration, very open world concept, survival type game. So should be a good time. But if you're enjoying the music, check out the Subnautica OST, Subnautica soundtrack. Okay, we'll kill it. Let's get into this news stuff. Let's get into the video gaming news stuff. All right. Cool. Let's go. What do we have? Yeah, there are a ton of sales right now, guys. I've been hitting this like every single day during the news segment. My advice is that if you're in the market for anything, um, keep your eyes peeled. Between now and basically within the next week, there are a lot of sales going on now. There are going to be a ton of sales around, especially Friday and through the weekend, and even into Monday. There are going to be a lot of sales, maybe even bigger sales than what you can find right now. But if you're in the market for something and you find a pretty solid deal right now on whatever you're in the market for, it might be worth going ahead and just scooping that up, because you might not be able to guarantee there will be a better deal later in the week or beginning of next week. Okay, so just keep your eyes peeled, search around, and see what you can find. Lots of deals right now and stuff. I'm gonna quit diving into all these Black Friday deals, but I mean, there are a lot of big tech items, consoles, hardware, software, all kinds of stuff, peripherals that are going to be quite often anywhere from like 25 to 60, 70% off, depending on what you're going for. So just keep your eyes open and make sure you get yourself a good deal on whatever you're in the market for. Okay. Yeah, we've kind of hit on this, but let's go ahead and touch on it again. Ubisoft games headed back to Steam. We hit on this yesterday. Um, so not only was this server shut down, right? It prompted Rockstar to actually ring up a matter of issues with the community in regards to Grand Theft Auto or all their games, all their games, especially their online games, but Grand Theft Auto in particular, because of Grand Theft Auto's online presence, the communities it has, and the fact that there are certain rules in regards to what you can and cannot do, whether or not those servers are private. Okay, it doesn't matter. This kind of thing, people are still engaging in activities on what is their software. They own it. And basically they said that, you can't engage in any kind of business in their on their software that they don't approve, right? Which is kind of what this was. And so they basically told everybody that if you get caught doing that kind of thing, they're going to shut your server down because that's the way it goes. That's basically TLDR. There are a lot more details that go into it. There were what was it, about 5 pretty in-depth regulations that they went into regarding this matter. If you want a deeper look into it, we hit on it in yesterday's news segment. So go take a look at that on YouTube, okay? Oh, here we go. Microsoft offered Sony a 10-year deal to keep Call of Duty on their platform. So this is what we've kind of been waiting for. Some details in regards to, we've seen a lot of back and forth between both Microsoft and Sony in regards to um, Sony ultimately just being against everything that this acquisition is for Microsoft potentially buying Activision Blizzard, right? And a big part of it is them saying that Call of Duty is too unique. It presents too much anti-competitiveness in the gaming industry. Da 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 da. When really, what it really seems like is that Sony doesn't want to have to change anything about where they've been or what they've had to do ever really in being more what Microsoft has always done in their business practices and being very creative and unique and finding ways to compete with somebody like Sony, who makes way more money off things like consoles than Xbox ever has. But this is one of the things that Microsoft, very early after Microsoft agreed to purchase Activision Blizzard, Microsoft apparently went to Sony, offered a deal to keep Call of Duty on their platform, and Sony said just no. And this is what I was saying right away, was like, it virtually wouldn't matter what the offer was. Sony would say no. They don't want this to happen. So they're going to try to make it seem like no matter what the offer was, it wasn't good enough, Um, And we haven't been able to find any detail, or we haven't heard any details on exactly what that offer was until now, potentially. So let's take a look at this. We've talked a good amount about this over the past few days. I'm not going to dive into it. Let's go ahead and look at our other search. What's this? Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is we've talked about this. I heard all your smoothies are turning into NFTs. That's what I heard. I heard you were changing your name into NF Troll. What's up, dude? What's up, buddy? Yeah, big video games are dropping old gender restrictions on character creation. Um, this has been happening for a while now, so we'll touch on it. But this is not real surprising. This is not new. A lot of companies, a lot of developers have been getting more gender fluid. Yeah, to where it's not as a defined thing for a character. It's a non-factor, really. It's just about creating your character in whatever way you want the character to look, and it's not about actually defining what, you know, that character is or isn't, you know, as far as a gender. So we'll take a look at that. That actually looked like a screenshot from Hogwarts, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think so. What's up, Wick? How's your day, dude? What's the weather like, man? Has it been turning around at all? We're finally out of for us here, dude. We're finally out of that wind chill. We hit about a nice week long lick there, dude, where the wind was pretty brutal. It was cold anyways, and then the wind was really bringing it down. 28 feels like 20. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like 25 across for us right now. 25 feels like 25. So, but it, dude, it's supposed to get up to like 50 degrees today, man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep, yep. Hopefully that'll be good for the smoothie business, brother. Hopefully, dude. And then tomorrow, man, it's supposed to be flipping close to 60 degrees, dude. It's supposed to be close to 60 degrees tomorrow, man. It's craziness. Yeah. This isn't a surprise either. Sony and Honda could include PS5 consoles and electric cars. Look, man, I mean, from Tesla incorporating Steam to Warner Brothers developing an entire in-game entertainment system that's they're developing that for, you know, vehicles to um, incorporate it as part of the entertainment system of cars as they're being manufactured, right? Not as like a aftermarket purchase. It's literally being developed as something for auto manufacturers to incorporate during the manufacturing process. Then into like Sony and Honda, including PS5 consoles in their electric cars by default. This is the way the future is moving for automobiles, right? Especially with the closer we get to driverless cars, things like that. Entertainment is going to play a much, much, much larger role in our travels. Yeah, 56 Thursday. Yeah, 54 tomorrow. 56 Thursday. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice mild Thanksgiving, bro. Nice mild Thanksgiving. Yeah. You got any plans for Thanksgiving, dude? Are you working? You got the shops open? So I'm not gonna dive into this. This is not surprising. It's it falls right in line with a lot of the other stuff that we found regarding that kind of thing. Yeah, word. Good, dude. Good. Good, dude. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Me too, brother. That dark meat though. That's where I'm at. I like that dark meat, the mashed potatoes, the raw corn, all smothered in gravy. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I think you told me that. That's sick, dude. Good for you, man. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Good for you, buddy. Go to the moms for Thanksgiving. Yeah. So we're gonna be spending Thanksgiving with the wife's family, and then Christmas we're gonna go see my family. Go see my family. So the stream will be down a little bit again around Christmas time. We're gonna take a bit of a bit of a long trip. Go see my family for Christmas. So it'll be good. It'll be good. Um, EA Sports expected to delay release of newest college football video game to 2024. Take a look at that. A lot of people have been anticipating NCAA games coming back for the American football, and looks like that's not going to happen until 2024. Yeah, it'll be good, dude. It'll be good. I don't get to see my family very often, so it was nice. I took that trip back at the end of August, and that was good. And now we're going back to spend Christmas with them, so uh, it's good. It was due. We were due to get back and see them a little bit. I haven't been back hardly. I've not very often at all, at all, man. Since I left home, so it'll be good to be back. See them. Yeah, Vampire Survivors proves to be the best game. That the best games of the year can be the simplest. Absolutely. We've seen this kind of be a trend. It doesn't have to be this way, but it absolutely does not mean that a game has to be AAA production quality to be considered a game of the year nominee. You get a game like Vampire Survivors, or uh, we're talking about games like Valheim, and if you remember back what was like 2020 or 2021 with Valheim and Loop Hero and stuff like that, those were pretty simple. Not okay, so Valheim is not necessarily a simple game, but it was an indie type game that was kind of caught everybody off guard, right? And I mean that's the kind of thing you talk about, and it's not like it's definitely not AAA production or anything, and it does an amazing job, right? So I'm not going to dive into this, but what I will say is Vampire Survivors is amazing. So is Loop Hero. So is Valheim. I've played all three of them. I haven't played Loop Hero as much as I've played Vampire Survivors or Valheim, but they're all fun games. They're all very, very good at what they do. And I think that's the amazing thing about the gaming industry. And let's be honest about indie developers as well, is that they really keep proving to the industry that it doesn't take a massive budget or a big AAA production kind of endeavor to pull through with a fantastic title. Um, so I think a lot of AAA devs need to take a step back and look at what some of these indie devs are really doing with some of these titles, and take maybe a couple pages out of their book and get back to the roots a little bit and focus more on making sure that gameplay's fun, quality's very good, and we'll have a better experience all the way around in the gaming industry. What? Ooh, interesting. God of War Ragnarok's director says he wants to work on Castlevania next. Let's take a look at that. What? Injustice 3 along with a release date? That's NetherRealms. Interesting. Everybody was thinking it was going to be Mortal Kombat 12 before Injustice 3. Um, okay, let's take a look at that. Steam adding one of 2020's most popular games? Have we hit on this? Yeah, we already hit on this. But look, if you're not familiar, if you didn't know, Ubisoft's bringing Assassin's Creed Valhalla to this should say Steam, not Stream. Dude, comicbook.com, their their writing is jacked all the time, man. It's actually it's really funny. I love their site. We get a lot of great information off their site, but there's always a lot of misprints in their articles. But look, we have something up about Ubisoft games headed back to Steam already, so we'll get rid of this one. It'll probably talk about that anyways, and we've already hit on that a little bit. Oh no way! Amazon accidentally listed the Xbox Elite Controller Series 2 for 60 bucks. Dude, aren't these like close to $200 controllers or something? Cancels orders. Whoa, yeah, they're like $180 controllers. Look, I'm sorry, dude. Uh, Spending $180 on a controller is a little bit crazy to me. Um, that's wild. Well, there's no point in reading into that, but feels bad that people thought they were getting that controller for 60 bucks and then Amazon canceled their orders. Feels bad. We hit on this already as well. Look, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is being rated very poorly. We'll go take a look at it. I think what is it, like mid 70s right now on Metacritic. It's a look, mid 70s is respectable. It's a respectable Metacritic score. It's not being blown out of the water or anything, but this doesn't line up with historic Pokemon scores. That's what people are really talking about. Um, and the game is having issues. Performance wise, it doesn't look real great either. So we'll take a quick peek at that. we've seen gameplay of AEW Fight Forever. I'm not going to dive into that. This is what you need to know. AEW Fight Forever is going to be more of an arcade style gameplay than you're going to find with something like WWE. WWE is more realistic to the wrestling world. It's more on point with it. Whereas, AEW is going to be a bit more arcade style of a wrestling game. So that's going to be your biggest difference between those two games. AEW looks cool. I think it's great that there's another wrestling game coming into the kind of AAA space to compete with WWE because 2K has been doing a terrible job on those games, if you ask me. I haven't even played them, but I am very, very familiar with the fact. Devea, what's up, my friend? How are you? Very familiar with the fact that the WWE games, I mean, you can go look up reviews on Steam. They release every single year basically as just like a hot mess. And people buy them because there's nothing else really for people to play in the wrestling genre on major platforms. So, um, that's felt bad for wrestling fans for a long time. And I think another wrestling game coming into the, you know, that space of the AAA, AAA space for the genre is very good for competition. It'll hopefully make 2K, elevate the quality of their games moving forward too. So we'll have a bit of competition there. I'm good, my friend. I'm good. Just getting ready for these Thanksgiving festivities coming up towards the end of this week. Stream will be down from Thursday through Sunday. I'll be out of town, so we're just having some fun. We just finished up Disco Elysium day before yesterday, and that was amazing. And we started playing Evil Dead yesterday, so that was a lot of fun. I think we're going to be playing Evil Dead today with our buddy Byzantine. Yeah. So we're just going to be having some fun again today and tomorrow with Evil Dead, and that's it, man. How are you and the family? Again, there's so many Black Friday sales, guys. Just if you're in the market for something, do your due diligence, search around, make sure you're getting the best deal you can potentially over. There'll be a lot of sales over the next week. Need for Speed Unbound's latest video. Let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at this. This is a different game than the Need for Speed games we've seen over the past. Really, me and the family doing good. Good. I'm glad to Vea. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Um, oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. Well, you guys be safe if you're traveling and everything. Hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Tell Samara I said hi as well. Um, this new Need for Speed game. I don't really know what to think. There are parts of it that I think look really good, and then there's like this whole like kind of arcade cartoony thing they're doing with it that is really throwing me off. Uh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's We're going to see my wife's family for Thanksgiving, and then we're gonna go take a long trip to go see my family for Christmas. So we're kind of switching off this year. So we'll take a look at this. I'll show you guys. If you haven't seen the new Need for Speed game, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I don't really know what to think about it, but you'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's stick with that. We'll stick with these articles, and then we'll go play some Evil Dead. Okay. Yo, it's random mode time. Perfect. Perfect timing. Get your random modes in there. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the series' lowest rated mainline game on Metacritic, yet I can't stop playing it. Yeah. Um, Look, we've seen a lot. I'm not. We've seen a lot. We've read a lot over the past like few days. This released on the 18th, so about 4 days ago. Wick, dude. Wick. um, again, look, so it's currently sitting at a Metacritic score of 76. Again, that's not terrible. That's a respectable score. That's a pretty decent score. Nice, Devea, nice. Yeah, but they're traditionally Pokemon games don't usually dip below 80, and but people are like, and that's why people are making a big deal about it, because Pokemon games don't traditionally dip below an 80 on Metacritic, and this game has some issues. And I think the big thing here to take into account is this game's developed by Game Freak. This is not like this is their first Pokemon game ever. Game Freak's been making Pokemon games for a long time. And for them to come out with a new Pokemon game and for it to be having these kinds of issues with lots of bugs and not looking very good either. Yo, gamer, what's up, buddy? Just it's kind of weird. I don't. I'm not sure what to think about why all of a sudden they're having so many issues. Regularly, you're reminded of what Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is capable of until your game crashes again. Yeah, yeah. There. I mean, look. I'll throw this in chat. We've read a lot about this over the past, or a good amount about this over the past 4 days since the game released, anyways, and I think that's the biggest thing to take away from it. Really, is kind of what I already stated. A Metacritic score of 76 is not terrible. It's very respectable, actually, for a lot of games, for games in general. It's just lower than most Pokemon games are rated, and that's why people are kind of worried. And ultimately, a game from Game Freak, a Pokemon game from Game Freak, they've been making Pokemon games for a long time, and this one has a lot of issues. So we'll see how they respond to this. We'll see how they respond. But that's basically what you need to know. All right, here we go. Here's the Need for Speed stuff. EA and developer Criterion Games today unveiled a new video for the upcoming racing game Need for Speed Unbound, showcasing 3 minutes worth of speed race gameplay. Unbound speed race gameplay video alternates between daytime and nighttime footage, giving us a better view of city and titles' new driving effects. This is kind of what I'm talking about here. Like, you see the kind of illuminated, cartoony style graphics that are showing up off of the tires and the smoke and stuff. That's a little bit weird to me. Need for Speed games have traditionally been a more realistic approach to an idea of even if kind of a wild idea of a racing game, right? So I don't know what to think about all this kind of stuff they're incorporating now. The video first takes us through what looks like the industrial part of the city before moving things to a more central location, where racers need to dodge traffic and pedestrians aside from the police. Also shows off the meetup menus that precede races, as well as side bets, which allow you to challenge specific racers in an attempt to win more cash. The star of the clip is a Mercedes 190E, which is now confirmed to be part of the title's extensive roster of cars. You can watch the whole thing below. Q anime for you. Oh yeah, I forgot it's only next gen consoles too. Yeah, Devea, I forgot all about that. Yeah, it's kind of throwing me off too. And I haven't even played Need for Speed games for quite a while, but I used to play them back in the day. And we'll watch the video, and everybody can see what I'm talking about. It's got a real weird vibe to it, in my opinion. I think what they tried to do was appeal to a younger audience, man, and unfortunately, I think this is kind of a trend now. This is a trend that I think that a lot of developers are trying too hard to appeal to a younger audience, and I don't really think they know exactly what they're doing. You see a game like oh, why am I blanking the name of it right now? Oh God, dude. It just came out not too long ago. Oh, you hit every red light this morning? Well, that's a good start, eh? Yeah, it's a good start. Sorry, bro. Yo, I mean, don't even worry about it, dude. You just roll through those with your lifted Prius. It's not like, anything bad could happen. Oh, guys, why am I tripping on this thing? I haven't had enough coffee this morning. The game basically tanked, man. It didn't do very good. I'll think of it here in a bit. But you've seen a lot of this. These developers are trying to turn these titles, these even long running titles, into something that they feel is more modern, something that's going to appeal to a younger audience more. When I don't think they're truly taking into account what it means for this series when you've had a fan base for that game or that series, that IP for such a long time. Yeah. So Need for Speed Unbound launches on December 2nd on PC via both Steam and the Epic Game Store, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. So take a look at this, okay? Again, I think the game looks good. It's just these other things that are throwing me off. I'm just gonna kill the sound there because it's probably gonna end up being some DMCA stuff. And see, like, even it's so cartoony. Yeah, you're not wrong, Devea. Kind of like anime cartoony kind of stuff. It's like almost like comic book kind of stuff. If you watch, like, when they hit nitrous and stuff like that too, like, see all that. I mean, the game looks good. I think the game looks good. Um, and even like the tracer stuff, I'm okay with. But what was that? Like, you got electricity popping off the top of the car and stuff, and like, what is? I don't know, man. And then you got wings that come off the side of your car and stuff, like cartoon, like comic book stuff. I don't know, man. It does not appeal to me. I'll tell you that. The game itself looks good. I think the game itself looks very, very good. But the additional, like, cartoony kind of effects that are popping off of the cars and stuff. Like, look how good the cars look and everything. I think the cars look amazing. Can't drive in racing games. But I would like to get into a new one. I haven't played a racing game in a while. I used to play the Gran Turismo games a lot. Back when I was younger. And I used to play some Need for Speed. And, dude, Midnight Club was my jam, too, back in the day. I loved Midnight Club. See that? Well, what's the wing crap, dude? And I don't know, man. For me, it's just not there. That takes away from the game a lot to me. I just don't see it. Dude, me too, Devea. I mean, that's another one because isn't it Midnight Club Rockstar? Is Midnight Club Rockstar? Why am I thinking that? Am I right or am I wrong? Who did Midnight Club? And I didn't even play the later Midnight Clubs. See, look at that. I mean, even the smoke off of the tires and stuff is just very, very comic book. It's not realistic. It's just so comic book and fake looking. I don't know why, like, the game, because the game looks so good. It looks very, yeah, I think Rockstar did. Yeah, I think so too. I loved the first two Midnight Club games. I loved those games. I played the crap out of them. I don't, I don't think there are going to be a lot of people that are traditional Need for Speed fans that are going to be very thrilled with the cartoony comic book style effects, because everything else about the game looks really good to me. I think it looks really good, but I'm not seeing it, man. It doesn't appeal to me anyways. But just because it doesn't appeal to me doesn't mean it's going to appeal to everybody else. But this is a big change for Need for Speed. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. It's not like this is a new racing game where they're, starting up fresh, right? They're changing this game. This is a change. This is something quite different than what they've done before. And the game looks good. Cars look fantastic. And to take something that looks so realistic and fun, and I think that's, and then make it look like comic book stuff, it's weird. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what other people think, I guess. But for me, it's just a little bit of an odd incorporation, I guess. Latest gaming news: Injustice 3, along with a release date for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, might be revealed soon. In today's gaming news roundup, Ed Boon has hinted that we might be getting an Injustice 3, while Hideki Kamiya might have announced Bayonetta 4. There's no doubt there's a Bayonetta 4 coming. Bayonetta has become very, very successful. But I will tell you this: I highly doubt that Helena Taylor will be the voice actor for Bayonetta in Bayonetta 4. Too soon? That's not, or voice actress, I guess it would be. That's not all, as Ubisoft is making a return to Steam. We've already got stuff up about that. We'll talk about that. A report has emerged claiming that we might get the release date for the highly anticipated Star Wars Jedi Survivor at the Game Awards later this year. We'll be watching that live on stream for sure. Ed Boon just teased NetherRealm's next game. We knew it was either going to be Injustice 3 or MK12, but we weren't sure which. We might know what NetherRealm Studios, the developer behind Mortal Kombat and Injustice, is working on next. Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat and the head studio, which was answering questions on Twitter the other day when a fan asked, hint for next game, to which Boon replied, Immortal 3 or MK12. Since Mortal Kombat 11 was NetherRealm's last console game, it would be a safe bet to think they might be poised to announce Injustice 3 sometime soon. Boon is a notable tease when it comes to riling up fans, so he could have named both titles as a hint for another Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe game. Except this time, with characters from Injustice, it would also not be unlike him to be throwing off the scent, only to announce something else completely, like a Marvel fighting game, perhaps. Yeah, look, Bayonetta 3 just came out, though, guys. So, any kind of, Bayonetta 4 is not going to hit for years at this point. If it does, that's going to be too early, in my opinion. Unless they're going to start spitting these out like Ubisoft does with, Assassin's Creed, where you get about 4 a year. Looks like Marvel's Avenger is finally getting the Winter Soldier. Everybody's been waiting on old Bucky. Yeah, that was announced a long time ago. People have just been waiting for a long time, so apparently it's coming pretty soon. And we'll talk about that in a separate article. The Ubisoft coming to Steam. We've got that up. EA Sports expected to delay release of the newest college football game to 2024, per the report. EA Sports will reportedly deliver disheartening news to college football fans on Tuesday. According to Matt Brown of Extra Points, the game studio will announce a delayed release of EA Sports College Football, the franchise formerly known as NCAA Football, from 2023 to 2024. On February 2nd of last year, EA announced its beloved college football game would return, but did not offer a timetable for its release. For those who never stopped believing, the tweet read, with a graphic that included the words, "College football is back." But then there was silence. Fans' jubilation turned into eager anticipation for EA to reveal any more information about the newest college football game. On September 14th, over 18 months after their initial announcement, after EA's initial announcement, the Athletics' Chris Vanini reported that those involved with the game's production were expecting to release it before the start of the 2023 season, most likely in July. The anticipation grew, and Ohio State fans likely started planning how they could bring the Buckeyes with realistic player builds, thanks to name, image, and likeness deals, to beat Michigan with the Big Ten championship, reach the college football playoffs, and claim a national title as leader of the program. Unfortunately, the delayed release means those who are anxious to play the game will have to wait a little bit longer for the franchise's latest release. One that, should it come in 2024, will hit the market 11 years after the installment of NCAA Football 14, which came out on July 9th of 2013. Yeah. There are a lot of people that loved this game. The NCAA game, NCAA football, was a beloved title by a lot of people. And it's going to be a hot seller, I am willing to bet, whenever it comes back out. Unfortunately, it's EA that has the rights to it. Unfortunate, in my opinion. God of War Ragnarok's director says he wants to work on Castlevania next. If somebody gives me that Castlevania license, we would love to make that. But we're talking about, who is it that has Castlevania? Is it Bandai? Who is it that has Castlevania? It's not Bandai. Who is it? Speaking during a kind of funny game spoiler cast video published on Monday, Sony Santa Monica game director Eric Williams called on fans to help make it happen. It's not clear how serious his comments were, but he did add, "I just got into so much trouble." He said, "You guys can make it happen because you have the audience of the world here. I don't know what I'm doing next, but if somebody gives me the Castlevania license, we would love to make that." Could you imagine a Castlevania game in the same kind of mold as God of War Ragnarok? Oh, God, bring it to me. Like many of Konami's core gaming series, it's Konami, my bad, yeah. I don't know why I was thinking Bandai Namco. I knew that, dude. Castlevania has been dormant for several years, the last mainline installment, Lord of Shadows 2, having released in 2014. The title itself outsourced to an external developer in Spain based Mercury Steam. And VGC first reported last year that Konami is now softening its stance over licensing more of its game properties to external studios. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Dude, Castlevania is one of those just legendary titles, you know? And oh, that's weird. People want it back. I want it back. Let's go. Let's bring it back in a good way. Ubisoft games headed back to Steam. We've already kind of hit on this a little bit, but Ubisoft has revealed it's bringing newer games to Steam after it left the platform 3 years ago over an unrealistic business model. A statement from Ubisoft has revealed the company will be launching some of its games on Steam after new games were absent from the platform for 3 years. In a statement made to The Verge, Ubisoft spokesperson Jessica Roche said that 3 major Ubisoft titles, AC Valhalla, Anno 1800, and Roller Champions, would be headed to Valve's premier PC game store. All these games were previously released on Ubisoft's own Connect platform, and some appeared on Epic's contentious Epic Game Store. Yo, I tried Roller Champions a few months ago. It was a mess. It crashed all the time. And there just wasn't, it was too repetitive. There wasn't enough there. Maybe they've changed it since then. There were actually rumblings they were going to cancel it. but it did not feel very good. Roche reportedly declined to comment. I mean, the idea behind the game itself was pretty fun, but there just wasn't enough content there. And there was a lot of bugs, a lot of crashes, man, to where it was like, this isn't worth. Roche reportedly declined to comment on whether or not future games would make their way to the platform, but did reportedly say that the company evaluates the release of each title closely. Ubisoft opted not to release its games on Steam for many years due to what the company's vice president for partnerships said was an unrealistic business model, according to GameSpot. This is likely referring to Steam's profit cut, which takes 30% of all revenue for games sold on the platform, while other platforms like Epic charge just 12%. Yeah, publishers who opt to sell games on their own platforms, like Ubisoft, obviously don't have to pay a cut to anyone at all, with the only major cut profits being the cost of the infrastructure. Um, yeah. So, also, don't forget right now, you can go get the original, like, the Xbox Splinter Cell game, original Xbox Splinter Cell game, for free on Ubisoft's site right now. So, it's a free game. You might as well go grab it. It's actually in our Discord under the Gamer Deals channel. Check this out. I'll show you real quick. Check this out right there. Splinter Cell. There's a link to go grab it, okay? So don't forget to go grab your free games. Yep. Microsoft offered Sony a 10-year deal. Microsoft offered Sony a 10-year deal to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Offer was made earlier this month to help push through the Activision acquisition. Microsoft proposed a $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard is facing intense scrutiny from regulators around the world, with one of the main sticking points being the future of the Call of Duty series on PlayStation platforms. In an effort to help assuage those concerns and push the deal through, Microsoft told the New York Times that earlier this month it committed to a 10-year deal with Sony to keep the Call of Duty series on PlayStation consoles. It's a bit ironic because in recent years, PlayStation owners have actually had a leg up on the rest of us with early access to Call of Duty beta tests and other content. That seems very unlikely to continue if the series comes under Microsoft's stewardship. Sony is more concerned that it could be cut off altogether. Microsoft said shortly after the acquisition plan was announced that it wanted to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, but with no specificity beyond honoring agreements that were already in place. Yeah, the matter took what appeared to be a bit of a personal bent in September when Xbox boss Phil Spencer said Microsoft had guaranteed Call of Duty releases on PlayStation consoles for at least several more years beyond the current Sony contract. That spurred PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan to say that the offer was only for 3 years beyond the end of the current deal, which he described as inadequate on many levels. Like, again, what I said previously when we found this article is it really doesn't matter what Sony offers to, or what Microsoft Xbox offers to Sony right now regarding this title to keep it on their platform moving forward. It won't be good enough. It won't be good enough. It doesn't matter really what it is. Unless Microsoft went, okay, we will provide Call of Duty forever on PlayStation for free. Sony would probably be like, okay. Other than that, it's not going to be good enough because they don't want this deal to go through. At the end of October, Spencer said Microsoft would continue to release Call of Duty for PlayStation consoles as long as there's a PlayStation out there to ship to. This new 10-year offer is a little less broad than that, but also a bit easier to nail down contractually. It speaks of Microsoft's determination to make the acquisition happen. It's also going to be much harder for Sony to wave off than vague promises and a 3-year commitment. Whether it's enough to get regulators on board remains to be seen. Console exclusivity is only one issue. Also, a concern that having Activision games on Game Pass will give it an unparalleled advantage over other streaming services. Microsoft said in October that it has a deal with Sony that keeps Call of Duty off Game Pass. that will presumably expire at some point. When it does, it seems like Call of Duty will become one of Game Pass's marquee games. Um, yeah, yeah. Microsoft's acquisition of Activision is being reviewed. Activision Blizzard is being reviewed by 16 different government bodies. Saudi Arabia and Brazil have approved the deal, but agencies in the U.S., UK, and EU are continuing to investigate. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This is the last article I have for the day, guys. If you have anything else to add, let me know. We'll talk about it before we move into the gaming segment of Evil Dead the Game Day 2. Cool. Developers of some of the world's most popular video games are expanding the tools players use to create characters, downplaying gendered terms, and untethering options for body types, voice, and other characteristics from gender selection. Um, yeah, Yeah, why it matters. This shift is part of a trend by the industry to be more inclusive to a wider set of players by letting them see themselves in the games they play. Such changes making these games more welcoming to trans, non-binary players and those who want to have such characters. They also allow more deviation from gender stereotypes. Yeah, a pre-release update from next week's World of Warcraft Dragonflight, which expands the Activision Blizzard massively multiplayer online game that launched in 2004, renames male and female terms in its character creator for Body Type 1 and Body Type 2. Earlier this year, The Sims 4, which plays out like a virtual dollhouse, began to let players customize pronouns she, her, he, him, they, them for the Sims characters they create. Square Enix's Harvestella, a recently released game that mixes farming with sword fighting, gives players 3 options for their character gender: male, female, or non-binary. Upcoming Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy, is in the spotlight for its association, however, distance with Potter author J.K. Rowling, who has repeatedly made transphobic comments. The game has such open-ended character customization tools. The players can create trans wizards or witches. Its character creator, shown publicly earlier this month, lets players choose body types and voices independently of each other, then lets them select without restriction whether their character dorms with wizards or witches. What they're saying, it's undeniable. There has been a recent inflection point in the way developers approach character creators, particularly in games with higher fidelity graphics and character models. Blair Durkee, the associate director of gaming at GLAAD, tells Axios. Yeah, the big picture, video game character creators are often considered the measuring tool for how inclusive a game is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the evolution here of not only video games allowing people to so the evolution of video games becoming more apt to allowing players to create characters, but also evolving into the space of not being as constrained in um, gender narratives, right? So, and even gender stereotypes, things of that nature. Um, so, allowing people to create a person without having or a person or a character or whatever without there being any kind of focus on what the gender would be, because quite often, quite often in games, gender doesn't really matter anyway. So why it's ever, for the most part, been a thing that you had to decide in the game or been a part of character creation is a non-factor anyways. There are some titles where gender has played a role, but it was because they used specific pronouns in the dialogue and things like that, right? Which is also something that games are moving away from, using general pronouns in dialogue, so that that kind of gender or character creation, you don't have to select whether you're, it's gender fluid. It doesn't have to be a specific gender or whatever, right? Um, the bottom line, the goal for developers isn't to remove options, but to add more and build a character creator that understands all aspects of gender diversity, right? I think that's the important thing. It's like, it's not to totally get rid of the identity of it, right? Like there are many people in the world that are absolutely comfortable and fine with, you know, their gender identity, but then there are people that are not, and I think that's where it becomes really important in allowing everybody to feel comfortable in that space of being able to create a character that they can really relate to, and what that's what video games are about, right? Immersion, and being able to create a character that you feel very comfortable with, and you're able to immerse yourself into a game with. That's important for people. So I think that's a great bottom line here is that understanding that for developers, it's not about just removing everything and making everything just absolutely neutral, right? So it's okay to have options for people to actually say, yeah, this character is male, this character is female, or whatever. But also to have those neutral, terms and things like that for people that don't want it. I think that's the important thing, is to make sure that everybody, no matter who you are, is able to feel included in the video gaming industry and whatever game you're playing, to be able to create a character that you can relate to and be comfortable with. And I mean, I'll say this. Um, I'll quite often even play characters that I I I don't personally in my own life identify with, right? Just because I find that fun sometimes. But quite often people do want to create a character that they do identify with, and it helps them immerse themselves more into a video game. So this is something that's been making its transition into the video gaming world for a while, and it's a good thing. It is. It's good to see. That's what I've got, guys. That's it. That's the news today. Thank you. You guys rock. Appreciate you very much. Um, we're gonna move on to some Evil Dead, the game. Cool. We'll have some fun. I think our buddy Byzantking's gonna be playing along with us a little bit later at some point, and that should be some good stuff. So if anybody else wants to play, let me know. Let me bring it up real quick. If you didn't know, before we end here, you can get so Evil Dead the game is a cross-platform game. It is on most major consoles and platforms, um, but this is the only place it's free right now. So you can go get Evil Dead the game on Epic Games for free until the 24th. So you got 2 more days. You can go grab it. It's free. It actually is a lot of fun. I think my only thing I'll say about it right now that I find to be a bit concerning is that for it being an online competitive game where you are powering up characters and getting higher ranks and prestige levels and things like that, they need to get some kind of better skill based, rank based, experience based, whatever matchmaking process going on. Because quite often, and what I've found over the past day and a half of playing it, is that you'll get into these matches where you'll get very, very low level inexperienced people playing with very, very high level experienced people playing, and it's severely tilts the game in favor of either the demon, the antagonist player, or the survivor protagonist players. And there needs to be a bit better on that front. But overall, if I will say it's a very fun experience. It's like basically a mashup between, I think, Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight with more to it. If you think those games are cool, you've wanted to try them out or whatever, Evil Dead's free right now on Epic. Grab it, install it, try it out. I think it's a fun time. We're going to keep playing it today, okay? Also, don't forget to grab Dark Deity as well. And then 2 days from now, Star Wars Squadrons EA. I'm guessing within the next day or two, they'll probably announce another game that's going to be free as well, okay? Now, that's what we're going to move on to. Thanks to everybody that's part of the news segment, everybody that's part of this community. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you. If anybody's checking out this content as a VOD on the Twitch channel or on YouTube, and you're enjoying what you're seeing here, then see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself and the rest of this amazing community whenever we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. Start all of our streams off with video gaming news before we jump into whatever gaming content we have slated for the rest of the day, okay? Other than that, you guys just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we'll catch everybody tomorrow for November 23rd's edition of Video Gaming News and more Evil Dead, the game. All right?